All right, wildflowers and friends. I know there's a glare on this. I don't know how to fix it yet. I'm exploring different parts of my house. But I think we can get some sight words done even with that. Okay, guess what I'm going to do today? I want to do some opposites. Yep, opposites. So we need to learn how to read sight words. We do. We need to look at that instead of going N-O, no. That's good. We need to do better. N-O, no. Instead of doing that, we just need to say no. Yeah. And we're working on it, right? Yeah. 2 letters, 2 sounds. This makes its letter name the long O sound. That's unusual. That's why it's a sight word. Because usually O says ah. And the teacher teaches you that. Ah. So it fools our brain. Because it's oh, no. Well, no is thumbs down. Someone said you can't have something. It's a negative word. Yes is the thumbs up. Y-E-S. This one's an easier one because all the sounds they teach you at school. Y-S. You use those sounds, put them together. Yes and no. In a lot of my sight word phrases and sentences, I'm going to use opposites. One of the skills you have to learn when you're at school is not just how to say the words, but you got to learn what they mean. You got to be able to use them so that you can write, so that when someone else uses them in text, you can read it. We talked about in a different video, but we're going to remind ourselves that I will never be all by itself as a lowercase because I is a pronoun when you're talking about yourself. We don't use our first name. I don't say Titi is tutoring. I say I am tutoring. So we're always going to see it in a capital form. If it's in other words, like little, it'll be lowercase. If it's scattered in the middle somewhere, even at the front. But when it's by itself, capital. Well, if I'm talking about myself, me, I. If I'm talking about someone else, it's this one. And this one's interesting because OU can say ooh. Yeah, it can. Yeah, but that's hard. And that's not what they teach you in kindergarten. They talk about it in first grade, maybe towards the end, but sometimes, definitely in second and third grade, they're talking about OU says ooh. It can say other sounds, but in this word it says ooh. Yeah. We learned in one of my other videos that Y at the front of words always says yeah, the sound they teach you at school. So we had yes, yeah, you, yeah. Y and an O and a U, 3 letters. I also teach my littles, or when I'm tutoring, that Y-O-U, if you look at the U and say the letter name U, the long vowel sound, it's the word you. So when you're looking at this and you need a hint, you. And that's a pronoun when I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about you. Yes, you. You are listening to my video. I and you. They're opposites. Yeah. So is no, yes. One of the skills in kindergarten, I already said it, but I'll say it again. When we say things a lot, we remember them better. So I do a lot of repeating. All right. Here's another pronoun that I'm going to use a lot with my phrases. And it rhymes with this one. In fact, let's start with this one. No. Letter name E. E. He. Yep. There's quite a few pronouns that have an E at the end, and it says its letter name. Little tricky because we have to remember to say the long vowel sound, the letter name. E, he. Well, look it's over here. E, he. Yeah. But I put that S on there. And this fools kids. You know what they say? Sometimes we learn from our mistakes. So I'm going to show you some of the mistakes kids make. So that if you catch yourself doing it, you'll be like, oh. S, eh. They say all the letter sounds that they've learned. And those are the right letter sounds. So that's I can see why you'd make that mistake. But in kindergarten, they're going to teach you that S, when it's right next to H, they're a pair, they're neighbors or best friends. They don't have their own sound. It is not S, it is shh, shh, like shh, be quiet, the baby's sleeping. Yeah. Or when mom's trying to shh, I'm listening to this. Shh, you're too loud. Yeah, stuff like that. Shh. S-H is shh. So now that we see them next to each other, they make one sound. Shh. E. 2 letters. And then one sound. 2 letters. Golly. Can I make more mistakes? Oopsies. Shh. E. She. Yeah, I don't know. I blame it on coffee. I need more coffee. All right, so those 2 are opposites. This one is a girl, a female, and this one is a he. Yeah, so we use those in our stories to differentiate between people. Here's a we, and it rhymes with the other 2. She, he, we. Look, I'll put it over here. Yeah, they rhyme. They're spelled the same with a E that's making the letter name E. And then W says W. 2 letters, 2 sounds. W, E, we. We use this one when I am including myself in the group. We are tutoring. So I made us into a group, you and I, we. This is such a tricky sight word. Yep. In fact, I grabbed an orange. I don't know why. But I want to draw a big heart around the E-Y. First of all, let's count the letters. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 of them. We do not have 4 sounds. So forget the sounds. T, h, y. Not going to work. The TH is going to work together as a team. A lot like the SH. But just to make our life difficult and our brains to explode, TH has 2 sounds. 1, 2. 2. Most of them, I would say most of the time, it has, I call it the noisy TH. It's kind of like a Z sound. But your tongue is sticking out. So put your tongue, let's see if I can. But look at my mouth. Your tongue is between your teeth. You're blowing air through it, and it makes that buzzy sound. It kind of tickles our tongue. Now look at this. E-Y. Vowels, or Y is not a vowel, but it often works with vowels. It often has a vowel sound. We need a vowel sound in a word. Well, guess what? Do you see an A in that word? I just made an A. I don't. I see an E and a Y. But it is making the long A sound. We just got to learn that. A. 2 sounds. And then A. It's only 2 sounds there. 4 letters, 2 sounds. They. Crazy. This one's a hard one. And when kids are writing, watch this. When kids are writing in a story, they'll do the TH. For some reason, they remember that. And then they learn, or their brain remembers that sound A, but they put the A, they spell they like this. Did you know I had 5th and 6th graders doing that? Because when they're writing their stories and stuff, they're just sounding things out. This is a very interesting way, a very common way they sound it out wrong. And a lot of kids just look at that THE and they know the word the. And so they, they just say the, y. or something. They just don't know what to do with it. But they try to say the first. Why? Because their brain sees the. We spend a lot of time on one sight word, but this is a really hard one. And sometimes to learn the hard ones, you got to spend some time on them. You really got to think about, what am I looking at? How many letters? And let me just listen. Close your eyes and say the word A. Oh, that's only 2 sounds. Then look back at the letters. Don't see an A. That's how much time we compare it to other words that we know. The compared to they. 2 very different vowel sounds in those words. And neither of them are making the E sound. There's a lot of crazy. This is what teachers have to do. This is how much work we have to learn. It's like riding a bike. You got to practice, practice, practice. You got to think about it. Sometimes you're thinking about balance. Sometimes you're thinking about how to steer. Sometimes you're thinking about the brakes. You got to do a lot of thinking. Some people, they just hop on a bike. They seem to get it. They don't have to do a whole lot of thinking. That's their gift. But the rest of us, we got to do a lot of thinking about the words. Alrighty, it's long. They, we. She, he. I, you. Yep. And no, yes. Here's 1 opposite, 2, 3, and 4. This is a group that we're not in. We are in the group we. They means we're talking about a group of more than one. And it's not us. It doesn't include us. Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. We did some opposites. We got to know what they mean. Not just how to say them. Nope. And how to write them and how to spell them. We got to know what they mean. Now we know the meanings of these. We learned some sets of opposites. All right. Woo. I'm tired. 12 minutes. Go seize your day.